Hello, everybody. It is another week, another WXR, live and on the internet. Unless you're listening to this later, in which case, recorded and on the internet. And joining me, as usual, are the usual cast of Misfits, including James Phoenix,
Hello.
Marcus Shadow,
Hello.
and Chris, aka the Mole.
The undefeated Molesky is here to say
The,
hi.
the repackaged, undefeated Molesky.
There you go. The Great Valmolsky?
Hello, listeners. Now I want to start the. Never mind. So, as you may know, we will go through the previous week in wrestling, starting with Raw and then skipping over SmackDown because various reasons, and then main event, and then we will get some NXT and Total Divas action, and then close it up with the news and rumors and all that other juicy stuff that may or may not be true.
We're skipping SmackDown because Jim doesn't work Tuesdays.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Well, he tried to watch it, but then there was a commercial for the latest Sony handheld, and he just didn't work out. So, taking us away should be Marcus Shadow with the Raw recap and all that goodness.
Yes. Well, Raw was this week, in my opinion. But we kicked things off with the Authority basically bitching about how Ambrose stole the briefcase and they want it back, blah, blah, blah. Then Cena comes out, beats the shit out of Rollins. And yeah, basically same old, same old.
You may have missed out a few things.
Like what?
Like, number one, awesome. Stephanie McMahon actually turned around when they were chanting CM Punk, and says, why are they cheering for quitters? Oh, I know. It's because you can all relate, can't you? Because you're all quitters. And then goes back to the promo. And I also believe, unless that was later on, isn't that when Paul Heyman also came out and was talking about about the attempted cash-in on his client,
Yes.
Brock Lesnar?
That is true, yeah. Paul Heyman did come out to address, as Mole said, the attempted cash-in on Lesnar at Night of Champions. And he was about to say either Lesnar has a problem with Rollins or Lesnar's going to have a problem with the Authority. But before you could say the Authority, Rollins came out and was like, no, Paul. It was all my doing. It was all my decision. They had nothing to do with it. I tried to cash in on Brock because I wanted to. And so it's kind of up in the air at the moment as to whether Lesnar's going to turn semi-face and fight the Authority. I don't know. It kind of seemed that's where they were headed, but at the same time, Paul Heyman.
Yep, it's also WWE. I kind of half expect it because this is really cliched and almost patronizing at this point. But I can imagine the Authority, like the Seth Rollins in the ring, Brock Lesnar comes to the ring, Cena comes to the ring. Oh my God, a triple threat brawl! And both Seth Rollins and Brock stop. Look at Cena, double beatdown. Paul Heyman and Brock have joined the Authority.
There you go.
Sort of like when the Ministry was about to go to war with the corporation. Ugh, corporate Ministry sucked. But
Yeah.
why does WWE always do that? It's like, oh, they got two heels. I want to see these two heels go at it. No, you don't. You want to see them join up and beat up a good guy. No, that's the last thing we want.
Right. Although, and I didn't watch SmackDown, but given what happened on SmackDown, is John Cena really still a face?
Yes.
But yeah. So after the whole Heyman thing happens, people get in Heyman's face, including Rollins and Triple H, and Heyman's just like, yeah, just watch yourself, and leaves. And then Ambrose pops up on the Titantron after Rollins starts to bitch about how Ambrose has my briefcase and I want it back. And Ambrose pops up, looks like he's like in the parking lot or something, and he's got the briefcase. He's like, hey, you want it? Come get it. Like the Titantron goes off, and Triple H just does the nod thing of "Let's go get him." So that the three of them get out of the ring, start heading up the ramp, and then Cena comes out, as I said, and beats the crap out of Rollins for a little bit ad nauseum.
Yep.
And then it goes into probably the only match I actually liked tonight. I mean, some of the other matches were okay. This one was actually good. And it's the Intercontinental Championship match. Ziggler v. Miz v. Cesaro in a triple threat match where Ziggler retains. This match was actually pretty good, as I mentioned on Monday night. What would you guys think?
Yeah, I never thought the triple threat match was okay.
No, nobody else has anything to say about the match, huh?
I didn't see it. Sorry.
It was before I got
That's
home.
true. Okay, yeah, it was a pretty good match. Miz, for whatever reason, went top rope at the end of the match, jumped off, and Cesaro did a catch Shoryuken. And then Ziggler slid in, sweet chin Cesaro, and pinned. Did he pin Cesaro? I think to win it, or the Miz. I can't remember who he pinned. He pinned one of them and won it. So he retains the title for some reason.
Yep.
We go into Divas action. Layla v. Rosa Mendez, or Layla wins. Natalia came out with Rosa Mendez, and of course, Summer Rae was with Layla. And Tyson Kidd actually came out with Natalia to continue their little storyline from Total Divas of marital problems, whatnot, and Tyson Kidd just completely ignored like Natty in the match and everything. He had the big ass like earmuff headphones that he's had on NXT. He came out with those and his iPod, and Natalia kept trying to take his iPod, and he just put the headphones on, like ignored everything. This match was okay.
In all fairness, it's a Divas match on Raw. Tyson Kidd had the right idea.
It was a Divas match with these two Divas, so yeah, I can agree with that. Mole had no opinions.
I thought it was okay. And I thought it was pretty cool seeing Natalia and Summer Rae out there. And yeah, Rosa Mendez is back. Yeah, Layla let down the match, but in terms of match quality, it seemed a little better than the one before it.
You thought it was better than the Intercontinental match?
Yep.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I actually like the Intercontinental match better, but that's fair enough.
Yeah, like I said, I thought the Intercontinental match was okay. It's just Cesaro looked a little way too stiff, and Ziggler was overselling some of the stuff, so it was like, okay, so Miz was the only good part of a triple threat match. Shouldn't all three be equally good, or at least two of them be good?
Fair enough. Like I said, I thought the others did well, but fair enough. But throughout the night up to this point, the Authority have been trying to get the Money in the Bank briefcase back from Ambrose. And Triple H told Seth Rollins not to go anywhere, and he sends Joey Mercury, bald Joey Mercury, and Jamie Noble. I was like, I don't care what you have to do. I don't care how you do it. Find Dean Ambrose. And so they go out and they all look for him, and they come back, and I think, was it Mercury who had like the mustard on the side of his mouth? And Triple H's like, have you been eating a hot dog? I think it was Mercury. So they go back out. Fair enough. And they go back out to look for Ambrose, and then Ambrose actually comes out to the ring with the briefcase. He slides in, puts the briefcase on the mat, slides back out, gets a table. And at this point also, he walks in, he's got a duffel bag over his shoulder, a black duffel bag. He slides a table in the ring, sets the table up, puts the briefcase on the table, and then proceeds to empty out the duffel bag, which is full of WWE merchandise. He's like, he says something to the effect of, and he has a mic at this point. He goes, I I didn't like how they were conducting business out there, how they were selling their merchandise. So I'm gonna have a sale. And he's like, so who wants to pay me like $3 for a shirt? And he starts kind of going nuts with that. And then eventually he's like, I can't remember what happens, but something happens that catches his attention. And he goes back. And he's like, well, I can't remember what I was selling it for, so screw it. I'm just gonna give this stuff away. And just starts tossing WWE merch out to the fans, like T-shirts and Cena wristbands and stuff like that. At which point, Mercury and Noble come out and they walk up to the ring, but they don't get in the ring. They're like, give us the briefcase. Toss us the briefcase. And he turns, he goes, you want me to toss you the briefcase? I'm not going to do that. This thing is valuable. I'm not going to throw it to you.
Oh, you missed the best line.
What's that?
As they came out, he's like, whoa, 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 whoa. They just send out the Cruiserweight division?
Oh, yeah, he did say that. He's like, whoa, 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 whoa. The Authority sent out the Cruiserweight division to get me? Really?
Yeah. I will say, when he threw the merchandise, that was a little awkward for me.
Why is that?
Just because the logical sense of he should have thrown them one at a time, or with like a t-shirt cannon or something like that, because the way he did it, Rick, he grabbed a load as a ball and then threw them into the audience, and it looked like a load of them went into the exact same part as each other because it was a ball. So it's like, congratulations, one dude's just got a shitload of t-shirts.
Gotcha.
Bravo. Yeah, spread it out. You know what I mean? Spread the love.
Yeah, I can agree with the spread, but like a t-shirt cannon wouldn't have made it seem less legit. Because if he just basically jacked a bunch of merchandise, he's not going to walk out with a WWE t-shirt cannon. I'm sorry.
He's the same guy that put himself in a box and came out of a car that was owned by someone else. Clearly logic with this dude's gone out the window.
Fair enough. But yeah, so he starts jaw-jacking with Mercury and Noble, who turn around to like, we'll be right back. And they go backstage and they come back out with security and, well, quote, security, unquote. And Rollins and Ambrose like, whoa, 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 whoa. And like slides out and he's like, all right, you want your case back? Take it. I'm sorry, man. I don't want no trouble. And he hops the barricade, starts walking, through the crowd. So with Max saying, look, just take it. I don't want no trouble. I'm sorry. And Rollins slides in the ring. Keep in mind, he's wearing a suit. He's been wearing a suit the whole night because Authority. Really nice suit. And he walks up to the table with the golden briefcase on it. And he kind of looks over his shoulder at Ambrose, who's walking up the stairs. And Ambrose stops at like the top of the concourse there and just looking at him. He's like, go ahead. I'm sorry, man. Just take it. And Rollins turns back to the case. And the other joke is that Rollins supposedly had some personal effects in the case that he wanted returned to. And Ambrose, I can't remember the exact line, but he makes a joke about having seen the personal effects and now understand something about Rollins. I can't remember what it was exactly, but it was pretty funny. And so Rollins goes to open the case to check on his personal effects, and as he opens it up, he gets sprayed in the face and the chest with, like, ectoplasm.
Call it what it was. It was Nickelodeon slime.
Okay, yeah, there you go. Nickelodeon slime. Even better. Slime time. And
Mist! Green mist! The jury's in the briefcase!
Yeah. And they had a camera, of course, trained on Ambrose, and they kept showing this short clip like over and over again throughout the night of Ambrose's face just going into like a Joker-style grin when Rollins gets sprayed in the face.
Yep. Which, yeah. Mm-hmm. He got sprayed, and as I mentioned at the time to the people I was watching it with, basically the green slime only covered like just a little bit of his mouth and then down on his chest. It's like, come on, do a full spray or none at all. It looks half-assed. And then the other part with that is because Ambrose has this cool, oh my god, what's he gonna do thing that everyone's now eating up, which is fair enough, it's pretty cool, but still, he does that with Seth Rollins. Everyone's like, that's the greatest thing ever. DX reunited a while back and covered people in green slime, and everyone's like, oh, it's PG. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
I found both to be stupid. But it's a case of, come on, it's either way, either it's stupid for both or it's good for both. You can't have it both ways. Of, oh, well, that's stupid because it's Nickelodeon slime, but this one's good because it's Nickelodeon slime.
Right.
Banner, what does Jim think?
I think that if someone tried to blatantly fucking murder me by slamming my skull through concrete bricks, my response would not be sliming him like a 5-year-old on Nickelodeon.
Well, he took the double there.
To be fair, sliming someone like a child on Nickelodeon is your response to anything, Jim.
Hang on, I wasn't ready for that, Rick. Can you say that again?
He said, but he took the double there.
But no, also of note, Mercury and Noble they were southering, and when Rollins got sprayed, they just laughed, and Rollins was like, "You think this is funny? This is not funny." That's the other thing Rollins has been saying most of the night. You think stealing the case is funny? That's not funny. And Rollins had problems taking his coat off, and people kept laughing at his expense.
Yep.
Moving on.
Moving on.
We have Bo Dallas versus Mark Henry, where Bo Dallas wins.
You say that like you weren't impressed by Dallas won. Come on, he was on a losing streak. Bo, leave!
I'm always impressed when Bo Dallas wins. This was okay. I mean, the bit was pretty funny. You just gotta Bo leave. And it's always funny when Bo Dallas talks.
Yes.
You can keep one with a running Bo dog.
And I will say, after the match, I'm confused.
Okay.
Bo Dallas comes out, and logically, with the way it was presented to us, Mark Henry comes out, they have a match, the heel, Bo Dallas, wins cleanly, and the end result is the face, Mark Henry, cheap shots him. I'm confused.
I'll help clear that up when we get to the main event results.
How's that going to clean up why that made sense in that section? Fair enough.
Because they heel turned Mark Henry.
Fair enough. But does that mean they face turned Bo Dallas?
I don't know.
Bo, leave!
Either Mark Henry heel turned or he's just being a dick. I don't know, but we'll get there.
And we come to our second Diva match of the night.
Woo.
Which, given who was in it, it was okay, but yeah. It's Brie Bella versus Cameron and Eva Marie. And given what Brie Bella had to work with, you know, it could have been a worse match. Eva Marie was okay. Cameron is Cameron.
Yeah, like I say, it wasn't that bad.
No. This was to continue the Brie v. Nikki feud, where Nikki comes out basically being the authority stooge. Be like, Stephanie has given me the authority to basically do to you what she did to me, except not, because Stephanie actually, you know, put people with talent against Nikki. Which kind of surprised me, because it's like, there's actually a third match that's coming up that's had Alicia Fox in. I'm like, wait, why didn't Alicia Fox come out for this one? That was kind of weird, but whatever.
You do realize that the two people against Brie were also the two people Stephanie had used?
I thought Stephanie made it like a 3-on-1 with Alicia in there.
Yeah, but you're saying this one doesn't work because Stephanie only used people with talent. It's the same people. They just had an extra one or two.
Fair enough. I don't know. It just felt a little weird to me, but it was an okay match. And
yeah, I thought the match was pretty decent. And I'm sorry, Eve Marie's pretty cool.
Yeah, she did all right.
Eve Marie and Brie made this match awesome, which goes into what I was talking about with the other triple threat. If you need a triple threat with at least two good people.
True.
Like, say, you could have a triple threat with, say, CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan, and then the third one, because those two are good in the ring when they're not Supermaning, the third person you would use, it could be absolutely anyone. It could be the Great Khali, and this is a good triple threat. If you use someone with like the Miz, it becomes an even better one because all three, but that's a rare trifecta.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, what does Rick think about triple threats?
Yeah, I think you do need at least two of the people to be good. So, because like if you have a match with two people, one can carry it, but it's hard for one person to carry two.
Yep.
Even Ryback struggles to do it for his shell shock.
Nice.
So that leads into our next match: Slater Gator versus Los Matadores. And this is the match that Slater Gator had the mini Gator, right?
Yes.
Or Swoggle Gator. Hornswoggle.
Yeah, I like little mini Gator.
Yeah, and then of course we have I forgot his name, the Minotaur.
I call him
El Torito. And then Adam Rose and the Bunny and the Rosebuds all came out and were all at commentary. Except, of course, it was just Adam Rose with the headset. And Slater Gator defeats Los Matadores.
I will say, to be fair, it makes sense it to be only Adam Rose with the headset because the others are all non-speaking extras.
True. And Mini Gator made the difference. At post-match, Slater Gator went to make a mockery of El Torito. Adam Rose and the Bunny got pissed off, jumped in, kicked their asses. So, yeah, the feud with Adam Rose and the Bunny continues for Slater Gator.
Yep. Based on the fact this was a comedy match, and sometimes comedy matches are okay, they can be amusing. I laughed more than I should have with Hornswoggle and a little alligator cat uniform coming out on all fours. It amused me.
It was amusing. I'll agree with that.
And I'm sorry, almost besides that one promo, which was just like a Subway advert, almost absolutely anything with Adam Rose is fucking wonderful. He makes almost every segment great.
Though I don't know if I like the fact that he's keeping the scruff. Like, with your gimmick, I think it'd be better if you actually shave, dude.
But
I mean, not that he looks bad with the scruff, just with that gimmick. I was just like, I don't know if I like the fact that he's growing out facial hair.
Yeah, but the scruff kind of works because he's got more of that rock starish look to him while being extremely camp, like a camp rocker. It kind of works. He's like Camp Jericho.
Yes, this is true.
Jericho.
Or, sorry, Victor's right, Camper Jericho. Oh yes, hashtag Jericho. I don't know, what does Jim think about Jericho being camp? Okay then, he muted.
Sorry, I thought I was unmuting. I thought I was already muted. My bad, I hit the wrong button.
I was aware.
But as for Jericho being camp, I think it works some of the time.
Fair enough.
It depends. It depends on who he's working it against. If it's somebody he can well play off of, he can be camping over the top and goofy. But it has to be somebody he can play well, that can react well enough to make it funny.
Yep. Some of the Jericho can be camp some of the time. All of the Simon can be camp all of the time.
Exactly.
I agree.
That's the All Simon Network, all camp all the time.
There we go.
For just
Yes.
$9.99.
£9, 99 pence.
There you go.
But that brings us to Rusev and Lana coming out.
Rusev, gosh, oh my.
Yeah. So they come out to the usual fanfare. Rusev has the Russian flag. They get in the ring. Boom, big ass Russian flag. they start talking about what happened on SmackDown about Rusev attacking Big Show with the flagpole after getting knocked the fuck out. Cue the Big Show to come out talking about Rusev getting knocked the fuck out.
It's a big show.
Break the walls down.
That'd be awesome, but no. And I'm sorry, I love face Big Show because you get goofy Big Show, but the thing is, as goofy as he is as face, he's because of who and what he is. You know, if you say the wrong thing, he'll just turn around and knock you the fuck out.
A 7-foot tall, 500-pound giant.
Yes, so he's got that intimidation factor. But I love goofy Big Show. He's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
And that grin, he's got that, you know, like Richter knows what I'm talking about. That grin just sells it for me.
I preferred Goofy Big Show when he was called the stay-at-home dad gamer.
I agree.
Yes. But yeah, I love Big Show. He came out with, cracking jokes and stuff like that. I'm just like, yes, this is awesome, Big Show. And he gets in the ring, goes to punch Rusev again. They run, and Big Show standing there. He just kind of turns to his right and looks up and notices the giant ass flag still hanging there, and just looks at Rusev and Lana, looks at the crowd, looks back up at the flag. He's like, crowd flag, and Rusev and Lana are like, no, don't do it. He turns around and he makes like he's going to reach for it and then stops and pulls back and then makes like he's going to reach for it. Like he's toying with them. Again, I love Goofy Big Show because he's just like fucking with them constantly. And they're just like, no, don't do it. I will crush you if you touch my flag. And Big Show's like, fuck it. And just reaches up, grabs the flag and pulls it down. And Rusev's like, no. And like throws a temper tantrum outside the ring. Fucking awesome. Love this bit.
It's also worth one part with this bit. Sort of annoyed me. The segment on Raw, awesome. However, after the segment aired, a few moments later, on all the social network stuff, WWE felt the need to apologize for it.
I had that on the news list, yeah. They issued the following statement after the angle saying, quote, we at WWE would like to apologize to the Russian people for the incident on Monday Night Raw that could have been construed as disrespect for their nation's flag.
Yes. Was that really news? Because that was like right after Raw on the social media. But yeah, it was a case of that was like, why? You can have the Russian person do it to the American flag, and that's okay. But if Big Show does it to the Russian flag, you have to bend over backwards and apologize. This isn't the Cold War. You don't need to be afraid of the Russians.
Mm-hmm.
Although there is possibly going to be a war developing with the Russians, with Vladimir Putin, who's currently killing a load of people. But yet WWE glorifies that, I think, in the minds of some people by constantly using pictures of him to sell merchandise.
Yeah, also, it's not like they defaced the flag or anything. Like, they didn't burn it or they didn't have Big Show, use it as a fucking tissue or anything. He just pulled it down. That's all he did.
And made it toga.
No, he didn't.
That one would have been offensive. Big
Yes, that would have
strips naked and puts the Russian flag as a toga.
Yeah, if they'd have had him do something with it, fair enough. I'm sorry, they should have apologized for Rusev using it as a weapon more than Big Show pulling it down.
But the thing with that, Rusev is Russian, so that's allowed. It's like if you hung up an American flag, and I, as an English person, was to come up and rip it down. Because I'm not American, the implications of me doing that is pretty bad. I understand that. But I'm like, it's entertainment. You didn't apologize when the Russians do stuff to your flags and all that. Mm-hmm. Why the hell are you doing this? It seems like too much trying to cover your own ass. That seems stupid.
It's probably because their finances are in such dire straits, they're paranoid at anything that could hurt their finances even more.
Mm-hmm.
WWE Network in the UK delayed till November.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is.
It was mentioned on Raw.
Nationalism in wrestling only works in reverse.
Then we come to our third and final Divas match of the night, which, yay, Divas exposure, woo!
Yep.
That makes me happy.
It doesn't make you happy.
Yes, it does. More boobs always makes me happy.
I only say it doesn't make you happy because besides me saying yay, because I liked all these Diva matches, everyone else has been saying, fuck the Divas.
No, I was just saying I didn't think the other matches were that great. That doesn't mean I wasn't happy to see the Divas actually getting exposure. But that's what we've been saying for how many years now? Give us more Divas. No, they're giving us Divas. Yay!
We here at the X-Pound totally condone exposed divas. Gotcha.
So we have Alicia Fox v. AJ Lee, and Alicia Fox wins. Yeah, and of course Paige was out there at the table.
Of course Paige was out there. She introduced Alicia Fox as her new bestie.
That's right. Oh, that's right. Because when she said that, I was like, oh, okay, they're going to give her someone. That's kind of awesome. And then Alicia Fox comes out, and I'm like, really?
Racist.
Like that. I'm like, that's the best you could come up with?
Racist.
No, it's more anti-person who's got no skill who could kill someone with the legs of hers.
Wait, anti-person with skill?
That's it, without skill.
Without skill? I mean, in the last segment, you were talking about they should have used Alicia Fox because she's someone with skill.
She's got more skill than
consistency. You're not WWE. Stay consistent in one recording.
She's got more skill than those two, but yeah. Except for maybe, was it Eva Maria was with her, but still.
Yeah.
Or whatever her name is, a breadhead, but yeah.
Yeah, I'll admit, Alicia Fox does have skill. I like Alicia Fox. Sometimes she's messed up her move a couple of times with the head scissors. But as Booker T's mentioned, even he's done that before now because of how the move's executed.
Yeah, I think she's gotten better, and I think they've gotten smart because it's no longer head scissors because they realize she can't do it as well as Booker T, who, like you said, has admitted he's fucked it up once or twice. Because if you notice, when she does it now, it's a body scissors.
Yep. Because it's just one of those moves. So it's like the way they do it with the snap of the leg. If it's slightly off, it's coming down on the back of the neck.
Yep. The Paige distracts AJ. Alicia Fox wins via roll-up. This match was an okay match.
And then didn't they do something after the match? I swear, like they were doing like what was it? Like she got it was either alcohol or it was soda. It was one of the two.
A can of soda.
And she opened it up to pour it on and stuff. And the JBL mentioned, "Oh my God, it's shades of Stone Cold."
Yeah, she got like I can't remember if it was one or two cans, and she shook it up like she was gonna spray AJ with Alicia Fox did, but ended up doing nothing with it except dropping the cans next to an unconscious AJ, which I'm like, wait, so you did all of that, shook up the can like you were gonna spray her, and did nothing. So what was the point?
That was the point. It's Alicia Fox. You're not supposed to know what she's gonna do. Like if she gets it, you're like, okay, I don't know exactly what you're gonna do. No, you don't. Which is part of the fun with Alicia Fox, where she's been like a little crazy with what she's gonna do. I kind of like that.
Which is fair enough. It's just kind of stupid not to do anything with it.
Her and Paige could be fun. Although I will say, when I watched that with a few people, and my brother, whose favorite wrestler of all time is ironically Stone Cold. Yeah, he was like, what? When she grabs hold of that and she's shaking, it's like shades of Stone Cold. And he's like, really? I never remember him doing it like that. That seems really weird.
No, he didn't. No,
but maybe it was. But maybe JBL was referring to the fact she beat up a woman.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah, it's JBL getting old. Yeah, because he's right. Stone Cold never did that. It was share a beer with me, stunner.
Or it's because it's JBL, or not JBL, it's because it's the commentators, and if they do that, it's shades of Stone Cold. It's like if you had someone turn around and do a choke slam, even if it's not a really good one, there'll be shades of Undertaker or shades of Kane. Oh my God, you just did the Three Amigos, shades of Eddie Guerrero. Oh my God, it's Simon's book, shades of Grey.
Wow. There you go.
That was a well-placed topical joke. Banter.
That leads us to U.S. Champion Sheamus versus stunt double Damien Mizdow. Oh, that's right, because earlier in the night after the triple threat match, this was actually kind of funny. Miz and Mizdow basically charge into the Authority's locker room with Mizdow out front, and Mizdow basically talks for the Miz, but speaks in the first person like he is the Miz, while Miz is holding his jaw after getting uppercutted. And he's all like, he basically goes right up to Triple H and just basically gets in his face. And Triple H is like, okay, first of all, shut the hell up. Second of all, don't you ever do that again. Don't you ever come in here and get in my face again. And number 3, Mizdow, since you like to talk, I'm going to put you in a match tonight. Go have fun. It's like, we have other shit to deal with, aside from you. And what was his line? Do you remember his line, Mole?
I don't.
Because he says something to the Miz about, he was like, if you ever do that again, your direct-to-DVD career will be in the unemployment line, or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, Triple H actually had a legitimately funny-ass line. I was like, wow, that was actually pretty good.
It was, as I pointed out, an extremely hypocritical line, which I say thank fuck Miz addressed.
What did Miz say in response?
When Miz was on commentary, you even hear Miz go, yeah, he's talking about my DVD, my direct-to-DVD career. I'm sorry, check out the box office sales. The Marine 3, it did better than the Chaperone.
Nice.
Yeah, Miz was on commentary for this match.
So
this is the match Triple H put him in.
I will say I may have had to cheat with this, Rick. I'm sorry.
Uh-huh.
I had to Google this match just to remember which one was which, because it's like Jimmy and Jey Uso or the Bellas. I can't tell Miz and Mizdow apart. I had to look it up to see which one was which. I'm sorry.
I forgive you.
Well, they actually named Sheamus's 10-count heart punch thing. It's actually called the 10 Beats of the Bodhran. Whatever Bodhran means. Bodhran. You have any idea what that means, Mole? Because I'm assuming since he's Irish, it has to do with being Irish. So I didn't know if maybe being European, you've heard of it, maybe.
I have heard of it. I just can't remember what it is. I think it's sort of like a town in Ireland. It may be something else. I'm not entirely sure.
What is it, Marcus?
Yeah, if only we had someone that could look it up.
No, don't let him look it up. Don't let him look it up.
Bodhran. But anyway,
Oh, is that what it is?
So, during the match, actually, Sheamus took Sandow outside the ring, grabbed him, and threw him head first at the Miz, who was sitting at commentary.
Nice.
And brogue. So yeah, that feud continues. Sheamus v. the Miz. That match was actually pretty good.
To be fair, was that actually Sheamus v. the Miz as a feud? Because I thought it was Miz versus Ziggler as the feud.
It is, but I think they switched it. I think it's now Miz v. Sheamus and Cesaro v. Ziggler.
Does anyone else think what's going to happen is we're going to get the thing of basically Miz and Damien Sandow both winning the titles, and then maybe doing a joke of calling the Miz the undisputed champion because technically Miz has both titles?
I'd like that.
That'd be hilarious.
That would be hilarious. Yeah, so we'll see where this goes.
And there you go in the chat. Richter looked it up.
Ah, fair enough. What do we have here?
Hey, now I looked it up too. Screw you.
Irish drum. Okay, that makes sense. The 10
Yeah.
beats of an Irish drum. Okay, fair enough.
Thank you, Richter.
And then we have
Sorry,
what
Jim.
you gonna do, brother, when
Rector.
Pinkamania runs wild on you.
You stole
Yeah.
my job.
I know. Now I've got your power.
Make a high.
No, what's gonna happen when you look at your Vita? There's Richter. Dear God, what have I done?
We have Hulk Hogan coming out wearing, as Mole put it, Bret Hart's gear.
Yep.
Yes. He had a pink Hulkamania shirt on with white lettering and a black do-rag with pink Hulkamania on it.
Can we just address the fact it's the start of Breast Cancer Awareness Month? As the fact that seems really out of place unless we actually address that.
I thought we did. My bad. Yes, it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so of course WWE's annual hookup with the Susan G. Komen for the Cure.
Yeah, we got
I
remember
remember.
regarding that.
pink middle rope, which oddly looks better from what the ropes normally look like. I kind of
does.
like that.
Yes.
And Hulk Hogan in pink and stuff. Yeah, I made the joke via text to Marcus when we were watching it of, oh my god, first of all he stole Brett's title at WrestleMania 9, now he stole his colours. Fuck you, Hogan. Fuck you, you know what you did. But no.
Fuck you, Hulk Hogan, you fucking piece of shit.
Okay. But yeah, I was going to say, basically I liked Hulk Hogan in the pink, it worked.
Yeah,
It was nice to see Hulk Hogan didn't let his ego get the better of him, shall we say, and say, no, my fans only want me in red and yellow. It's like, at least he's willing to put pink on. I don't think we saw Triple H in pink, worth pointing out.
No, unless he was wearing the pink tie, but I don't remember if he was wearing a pink tie.
So only one Triple H actually appeared on Raw with no ego in a pink t-shirt.
Mm-hmm. I think Triple H had I believe Triple H had a pink tie on, did he not?
Like my Dragon Ball Xenoverse, I'm just saying.
And that's what I just said. But yeah, like
although I do believe there was a guy in the crowd with a sign saying we don't want Hogan in yellow, we want him in black and white.
I didn't notice.
We want NWO Hogan or some shit like that.
Fair enough. Yeah, it was cool to see Hogan. It's always cool to see Hogan, but I was a little disappointed.
It is
because they're like, oh, Hulk Hogan's gonna make a big announcement. I'm like, okay, so hopefully it'll be halfway decent. His big announcement is the annual partnering of WWE with Susan G going for the year. How's that a momentous announcement when they do it every fucking year?
It's still pretty huge when they do it, though, and it's still really important. So I can understand it as a monumental thing like that. Although he should have done that to start the show to address the fact the ring was pink and everyone was now wearing pink for the night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that
was almost as big as last week's mid-match announcement that Florida Georgia Line are coming on the Tribute to the Troops tour.
Yep. Although I thought it was pretty cool. They used Hulk Hogan, arguably the biggest star in wrestling ever. I mean, which while I don't like Hogan that much, I like NWO Hogan. I don't mind seeing him nowadays because it's one of those. It's like it's cool. But it's like one of the. It's just it was kind of cool because it's like, okay, you put your biggest star brand that you have ever in Hulk Hogan, and you've used that to get more exposure for the breast cancer awareness. Cool, that stuff. That's pretty cool. And more props to him for the breast cancer awareness. Which might also be why they showcased more divas.
That could be. But I hope that's not the only reason, because if it is, that means we're not going to see much divas from here on out, which is going to make me sad.
Which I will say also, they got it right this year.
Oh?
Small, tiny little nitpick of mine last year, if you remember correctly. They did the I don't know what the hell Jim's doing, but they did the breast cancer awareness month last time, and what the hell is Jim doing? But yeah, they had essentially speaking, they had all the divas and stuff on the top of the ramp all in pink for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and not Natalia, who always wears pink anyway. Mm-hmm. And it's like, why? But at least she actually had the pink this time.
Yeah. Agreed.
We have no way of knowing if that was her Breast Cancer Awareness Month or not.
I was surprised you paid attention for that. It sounded like you were taking your headset off or something.
No, sorry.
Yeah, that leads us to our main event. John Cena and Dean Ambrose. The main event!
Yeah.
John Cena and Dean Ambrose versus Kane and Randy Orton. And when the match was announced earlier in the night, Kane and Orton, I think Orton did most of the talking, but Kane and Orton turned around and was like, wait, so let me get this straight, Hunter. Once again, we're going to have to fight Ron's battles for him. This is getting fucking ridiculous. And Triple H is like, come on, I thought you guys would want to get your hands on Cena and Ambrose after what they did to you last time. And Orton just kind of gives him this look of, you better not be fucking with me, Hunter. Mm-hmm. Which is kind of funny.
And then Kane's like, I remember that. It was back when, and he just put his hand on his chin, tilted up, and the screen sort of faded out, and they did like a clip show montage of them fighting.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of expected that to happen.
Yeah,
The way
they
that
didn't.
started.
They didn't, but that's what it should happen. Come on, you show us highlights of Raw every fucking week during Raw and all the time during SmackDown and all the other times. Make it entertainment. Come on, find new ways to show us the highlights. Is that so much to ask?
Mm.
I will say I did like this match. They did something right, which I didn't really expect them to do, but I guess with how they've been booking matches and stuff lately, I shouldn't have been as surprised as I was. But Cena started the match, and he was the beat slut. They built Ambrose up like fuck, which I was like, wow, kind of didn't expect that. But it was cool.
Yeah, I like this match.
Yeah, it was a good match.
Well, they're doing that because rumored Ambrose Cena feud forthcoming. Also rumored Orton heel turn. Or I should say face turn.
that must be why Cena didn't tag Ambrose. If that's the case, does that mean Cena heel turn? Because I don't see them heel turning Ambrose. Not with the tremendous.
They were saying Ambrose was going to be pushed as the quote unquote number 2 face of the company behind Cena was the plan with Reigns injured. So
how's that a feud then if he's the number 2 face?
I don't know. I'm just telling you what it said. They didn't say that they're going to feud right now. It said the two of them were going to feud down the road.
Oh, so basically, they covered their own ass by he's either going to be a great face or he's going to be a great heel.
Nobody said he was going to be the heel.
Yeah, I don't really with what the push he's been getting and the way he's been pushed. I don't see him being heel anytime soon.
Yeah, but if you
if anything, I see Cena becoming the heel because I see the fans basically hating Cena for getting in Ambrose's way.
Yeah, but if it was Cena at this point, in this late in his career, I've pretty much accepted. I don't think we're ever going to see Cena turn heel. Because let's face it, he's near the end of his career. He's done a lot of stuff for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. He's the most requested one ever, blah, 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 blah. Turning him heel now, right near the end of his career, just cheapens it when he goes to retire. I don't see him turning him a heel. I just don't. I think that's unrealistic at this point.
They could always turn him neutral so he could feud with anybody. Like, turn him into kind of like what Austin was supposed to be. Well, I guess Austin was supposed to be a heel, but the way he acted, he was more of a neutral, but the fans loved it, so face, but...
No, it was Austin turned heel, but the fans cheered for him, so he was a face who used heel tactics.
Yeah, but he was more neutral because face or heel, it didn't matter. He'd still stun your ass.
Yeah, like Randy Orton as the... when he was the, quote, Viper before he turned heel, and then they essentially stripped away all the stuff that made him awesome. It's like, I'm going to have to say Randy Orton's one of those people they got that right with in recent years. Austin was one of the examples of one they got right back in the day. But then after that, most of the time, except for like Eddie Guerrero, you'd have someone that the crowd loved because they're so badass, so they turn them face, and then they strip away all the stuff that makes them badass. Whereas Orton, they did it right. They made him face, and when he was face, he was still turning around and RKOing Cena just because he still didn't like the dude. And I'm like, that's kind of awesome. That is kind of awesome. You did him right. And then they turn him heel again. Yeah. Instead of getting the more ruthless version of that, we get the pussified version.
Yeah.
That's just weird.
Yeah. But yeah, so Cena and Ambrose win the match via DQ when Rollins comes out half naked. And with the case. Well, it was. I didn't say which half. I'm going to leave that up to the listener's imagination.
Mm-hmm.
It was the left.
Yeah, Rollins comes out with the cage and assaults them after Ambrose hits Dirty Deeds on Orton and is like going to pin him. And Ambrose. No, Rollins comes out, like I said, assaults them. Bell rings. Cena and Ambrose win. And then they both get promptly curb stomped into the briefcase.
Yep. You notice they didn't say shades of Paul Burchill. Just saying. They should have, but yeah.
Yeah, that was Raw.
Yeah. Can I just address something which we brought up during that? Sure. Am I the only person that thinks that WWE's writing staff must have changed recently?
Well, I could have told you that considering they fired most of them.
Yeah, but I mean, it's dramatically changed to the polar opposite.
Okay.
Because look at it beforehand, like when we had around the time when we had like Punk, where he was going to leave with the title, and then the walkout, and then no execution. We had it before where they could book at least some decent storylines. They didn't really pay off that well, but they had some decent storylines. But no decent matches really came out of it too much. Besides maybe Cena v Punk the first time.
Right.
That was actually a pretty good match. But we didn't get much decent matches out of it. Now, we've got shit storylines to the point where who the fuck's Brock facing at Hell in a Cell, the world champion? However,
The matches were awesome.
Yeah, however, the matches are pretty damn good right now. Why can't we have both?
Yeah.
Why can't we have, why have we never been able to have in wrestling since probably about early 90s, 80s? Why have we not been able to have decent matches and decent storylines at the exact same time?
I don't know, but one thing I can tell you about the storyline side is there was an article not too long ago. There was an interview with a former member of the writing staff. He chose to remain anonymous, and he's been talking about how
the Vendetta mask.
He should have. But anyway, basically, I was just reading the text of the interview, but basically, he was just saying that the biggest problem the writing staff always has in trying to get anything done. He said, people blame the writing staff, blame the writers for the shit storylines, and the problems that happen on Raw and SmackDown and the things that they see, and then from the writing staff for not being able to write this superstar right or booking this guy wrong or whatever else. But what he wants everybody to realize is that, we're doing the best that we can. The problem is that, number one, we don't necessarily do the booking, per se. We just write what's going on in them, and, we can write whatever the hell we want. But the biggest problem is the micromanagement of Vince McMahon, who, at least at the time that I was there, would walk in, 2 hours to go till Raw and tell us, the entire thing was crap and we had to rewrite the whole thing in 2 hours. And we could say, oh, he could be supporting a storyline of this, and then 3 days later say, no, I don't like it, and throw it back out after he supported it. And that's why the writing staff can't get a damn goddamn thing done, because no matter how hard they work, no matter how much work they do, Vince McMahon comes in and fucks it up.
Can I just say, a completely anonymous source that can't be traced, that backs up everything the dirt sheets said on the dirt sheets, seems legit.
Exactly.
Sorry, that may just be me being jaded, but it's like when you see a game developer that's completely anonymous, and then it's like, oh yeah, I'm a completely anonymous game developer, and then they completely talk up, say like the EA games or the Activision games or something, and you're like, you're not that anonymous. We clearly know you work for them. If you even make it seem actual so we can trace who you are, it's like most of the dirt sheet stuff where they put anonymous sources that can't be traced, which is always really convenient so that when it turns out to be complete bullshit, they can just pull the crap of, oh, sorry, our anonymous source was wrong. Stop making shit up to cover your asses.
Oh, no, sorry. Actually, I brought a thing. He was not actually anonymous. It is recently released WWE writer Kevin Marshall, who stated this when he called into the Wrestling Observer Live radio show earlier this week. He was the one who said that.
Which I would still snigger at.
Eh.
Don't know if anyone else would. I'd still snigger at that because, wait, someone that was recently let go is bitter towards the company in which to let them go?
Yeah. But when he says basically that, in addition to what he said, the other problem is that instead of being able to write the most compelling storylines and the best stuff that they want to be able to write, instead of being able to write that, they instead have to write what they think Vince McMahon will like. So as a result, because they have to write for what Vince will like, they can't necessarily write the best stuff and the stuff that they think is really going to work. And as a result, it hinders the product.
Yeah, which I would make the case of, is that really true?
No, I'm just telling you what the guy said.
Only because we've had wrestlers come out who worked for the company and wrestlers who were let go. And like Brutus Clay mentioned after he was let go, which means he was one you would expect to be bitter, but he wasn't. He said he understood it. And he also mentioned the fact that Vince McMahon hasn't been seen there for a long time, and Stephanie and Triple H are pretty much running the show. And the superstars know it, so that their morale is up.
maybe that's why there's a swing. Maybe because Vince McMahon has kind of stepped back, and Vince and Stephanie are making the decisions now.
Yep. It just seems weird to me that a lot of them say it's Triple H and Stephanie definitely in control, and second something goes wrong, a load of the dirt sheets just want to make out it's Vince, and it's like, really? Come on, let the dude go. It's not always his fault.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe it's back to our host.
Indeed.
Oh. All right, so that's what happened in Raw, and since we usually skip SmackDown, unfortunately, we will then go on to main event. So take it away,
right.
Jim.
Okay, I unfortunately I have to pull a Marcus this week because I did not get to see it.
Oh god, what celebrity are you targeting?
How is that
Well-
pulling a me, considering I actually watched Raw?
This week, but the last like 4 weeks you didn't.
Yeah,
He
I
also
watch
means-
Raw every week. What are you
But you
talking
didn't.
about?
But you didn't take notes, so you were reading off somebody's pre-written notes.
That's what he was saying about the fact that you were reading the results.
But anyway, things that happened. Cesaro defeated Jack Swagger in a match after he got out of the Patriot lock and then gave him a thumb to the eye and a uppercut of a European flavor. Sorry, I just like that.
Tastes
phrase.
like strawberry.
Pretty much.
You mean a shoulder again?
So he got the win out of that. Backstage, Natalya tried to convince Kane to put Tyson Kidd in a match. Tyson said he could speak for himself, and they argued, and Kane said, fine, Tyson, go have a match. Tyson Kidd went out there, and he beat up Kofi Kingston and tapped him out to the sharpshooter. There's some video packages for Rollins and Ambrose taking out Ambrose and Cena on Raw. There was a vignette for the Wyatt family breaking up again. Mark Henry's backstage saying he had an emotional breakdown after having several bad weeks, but tonight he's going to destroy Bo Dallas, because that's what I do.
Yeah. And I'd like to
Speaking of-
interject. I forgot about
Did you
that.
wanna-
But
Yes, that's what I was going to say. Speaking of, can we go back and actually address the Wyatt thing as it wasn't brought up during
yeah,
Raw?
on Raw, Richter, throughout Raw, I think it was like 2 or 3 times, there was some really weird, creepy Wyatt shit. It's like, what is this? It looked like Bray was kicking Harper out. That's what it looked like. They're like, you're free, you're on your own now. I'm like, what is this?
If Lowell Dirty is to be believed, it's the beginning of the Wyatt family breaking up and the 3 going their separate ways and Bray possibly face turning.
Wait. They're going their separate ways right after a promo which told us they're going their separate ways? No.
I know, it's shocking.
Those breaking news always make me laugh. Like when Jericho returned on Raw, suddenly breaking news, Jericho's back. It's like, that's not breaking news if it happens on TV. What the fuck's wrong with you?
What's breaking news to those that aren't watching the show?
I would argue, why would you care if you didn't watch the show? Who was returning to the show you don't watch?
Because it's not necessarily, like, for example, let's say if I'm at work and I'm not home in time to watch Raw and on Jericho return and I get a WWE app notification, Chris Jericho returns, I'm like, ooh, awesome, I'm going to have to go check that out. I like to know that.
Yeah, you got a WWE app one. That's cool. I was on about the dirt sheets.
Fair enough.
Where it's like,
Yeah.
breaking news, Jericho returns. Yes, we saw that.
Fair enough.
But yeah, they did that a couple times throughout Raw, so yeah, it was
and
kind
they
of
aired,
weird.
and they aired the vignette again on Main Event.
It was the same one?
It just says Wyatt Family vignette airs. Main Event usually re-shows the same vignettes and promos from Raw, so probably.
Fair enough.
So we had Mark Henry saying he's going to have destroy Bo Dallas. We then had a Divas match in which Brie Bella defeated Summer Rae and Layla in a handicap match after hitting Layla with a facebuster for the win. And then we finally had the final match in which Bo Dallas managed to defeat Mark Henry by DQ because Henry was beating Bo Dallas up in the corner and refused to stop at the referee's 5 count, so the referee DQ'd him. After the match, Henry then hit 2 World's Strongest Slams on Bo Dallas and then grabbed a mic and told Bo Dallas that he better believe that that's what I do.
Did they mention a crowd reaction?
They do not mention a crowd reaction.
Of course not, because it's WWE.
Okay, so that still does. I still want to know, is he heel or not? Because he could just be a face that's acting really
consider
angling
that
towards him.
Mole, you're broken up like crap. considering that he refused to break at the 5 count, which is a very heel tactic, and then he assaulted him after the ring and hit multiple finishers, that's a very heel thing to do. I'm leaning toward Mark Henry heel turning.
It is. I was just talking about the fact that we've seen faces do that crap before.
Is Maul broken up to anyone else?
No.
No.
Okay.
Better go plug in now, Jim.
I'm already plugged in.
Well, you're fucked. Moving on.
Yep. Well, that's it for main event. I'll go back over to Richter and he can move on to the next segment, and I'll pop out and come back in. Maybe that'll help.
Except, won't that kill the stream?
No,
Not if he doesn't click leave call.
Fair enough.
No, even if I leave the call, as long as I have the other window open, I can rejoin the call. It doesn't matter. The call will keep going because the call's in existence.
Yeah, I think he meant as long as you. I meant as long as you don't click the leave call button that ends the hangout.
Yeah,
No.
because you're the host of the call, Jim.
Yeah, but anytime my internet is fucked up or I've been kicked out of the call keeps going.
Fair enough. Go for it. Richter, continue. Let's see what
All
happens.
right.
Tell him to do it. Okay, like I said, I was telling him to do it by clicking the X, not the hangout ending button.
Mm. Yeah. So moving on.
All right. So now that we're done with main event, it is time for NXT and Total Divas. So whichever order you want to do, go for it, Mole.
Which order would our host like it in?
What did I do last week?
NXT first. Yeah.
Then Total Divas first.
Fair enough.
Something crazy.
Cray, yo.
Total Divas this week started with the Bellas want to talk about their outfits that they're going to be wearing at the pay-per-view. And yeah, the end result of this opening is Brie mentioning that Nikki's fat again. Like, wow. Really? Your identical twin is fat? Okay. But no, I understand Nikki is a little larger than Brie, but she's not fat. She's just bigger than, you know what I mean? She's bigger than Nikki, but she's not fat.
Yeah.
Which seems stupid. And I'm not going to go through all of it, but we had a storyline with Nikki and Cena moving in together. And Nikki had 26 boxes arrive, and Cena just looks weird, and Nikki says, I need them. They are clothes and shoes and jewelries. What, do you want me to walk around here naked? To which, without even hesitating, Cena goes, yes, I do. I was just like, I love that little scene. I was, yes, I do. And it's like, that's awesome.
Yes. Good Cena.
Yep, this is the part Cena's injured. And he has like the big golf ball elbow, if you remember that bit when Daniel Bryan became face. Which, yeah, I have to ask a question to do with Daniel Bryan's supposed main event status. Because they clearly state multiple times on this that the only reason Daniel Bryan is main eventing is while they're waiting for Cena to be healed. Multiple times. I don't know what anyone thinks about that, but yeah. But we see Nikki in a sexy nurse outfit trying to nurse Cena.
Yay.
Yeah. And this bit was a little weird. This was the end of this little story of Cena then comes up to Nikki and out of nowhere hands her a contract that's a cohabilitation agreement that says stuff like if Cena says she has to get out of his house, she has 48 hours to leave or she will be arrested. To his girlfriend.
It's pretty cold.
Yeah, and Nikki's like, wait, why didn't you tell me this before I moved in? Or ask me to sign this before I moved here? And she drives off and she's like, I don't know what I'm going to say with this because what's going to happen? Because if I sign the contract and I'm uncomfortable with it, it's always going to be there. But if I don't sign the contract, then we don't move in together. It's just going to be awkwardness. And yeah, it seemed like a dick move. And the other storyline is the other storyline of note, at least, is we had Eve Marie as guest announcer, And we see her practicing, and to her credit, she's working hard, and she asked if she could cheat at first and just take notes, which is kind of hilarious for this bit. Bear in mind, this is after WrestleMania and stuff. She mentions, come on, because she said, weighing in, and she mentions his weight, Randy Orton, hailing from LA, California. To which the guy corrects her when she's practicing, and he's like, no, he's not from LA, he's from St. Louis, Missouri. And she says, can't I just write a card, or can't I just take notes on my arm? And the guy backstage clearly says, you can't write on your arm, that doesn't happen in WWE. And my first thought is, The Rock did it.
Nice.
So is that further proof that that Rock segment was made up to give Cena fuel, or is that proof that WWE get bent over backwards and catered to The Rock? If you're a Rock praiser, I know which one you'll go with. If you're a Rock hater, I know which one you'll go with. Me, I'm going to go neutral.
A little of column A and a little of column B?
I like The Rock, but I believe he did write it.
Yeah, I agree. Hashtag I agree with Baldy One Kenobi.
Yep. And when she does do the guest commentating, she introduces 3MB. Yay, Drew McIntyre appearance. But yes, you mentioned 3MB. And coming out to the ring, the members of 3MB, Drew McIntyre, Heath Slater, and then she doesn't say anything. And Jinder was pissed. And she even, and backstage, when she goes to apologize to him later on, and Heath Slater's like, can I ask you a question? Do you even know his name? And he's asking her, yeah, do you even know my name? Do you even know my name right now? And she goes, yeah, you're called Ginger. And Heath like, did she just say ginger, like the hair colour? Instead of Jinder? But that bit was kind of funny. About to Jinder's credit, and to the rest of the people, to the 3MB's credit, they did say to her they understood she was nervous, they understood she made a mistake, and Jinder even said, it's okay, it's cool. When he walked off, Heath Slater gave her a talking to, and yeah, that was the end of that one. So they were my two storylines I took note of this week.
Am I the only one that really wishes that 3MB was still at the company so they could do that storyline on the air and have her introduce Jinder Mahal and just have Sheamus come out in a turban?
Yeah, because WWE wouldn't be offended with that at all. But
they just apologize.
Yeah, they just
apologize. An apology, and it'll all swept under the rug like it never happened.
We apologize at Big Show ripping out your Jinder Mahal and throwing him into the crowd.
Yes.
We apologize for him grabbing an Eskimo and fucking it live on the air while saying, fuck all of you. Screw you, Eskimos. That's why you're not in Smash Brothers.
Oh, God. Mole.
We apologize.
Mole.
Yeah?
Am I the only one now imagining WWE as the cable company from South Park?
I was actually imagining them as BP from South Park of, we're sorry.
That works too.
But no. Next up, NXT. Presented in Mole Vision. Jason Albert, Rich Brennan, and Alex Riley are the commentators this week. Weird, as I hadn't seen those three as commentators as a group. I liked it.
There's no Renee?
Nope, but I like this group. My guess is Renee might be busy or something, because they seem to alternate the commentators on NXT more than they do on Raw and stuff, which is a shame, because I actually think that would benefit Raw, because like this week I was like, okay, I don't know if I like these people as commentators. They weren't that bad. They weren't as great as some of the other NXT combos we've had, but they weren't horrible. How refreshing would it be on Monday Night Raw if 1 week we didn't get Michael Cole, JR, and Joey Lawler, we got like Renee and William Regal and shit like that as a commentating group? That'd be kind of cool.
That would be pretty cool.
I agree.
But we start off the show. Yep, we start off the show with Bayley versus Charlotte for the NXT Women's title.
Okay.
Pretty damn awesome matchup. Charlotte wins again and gives respect to Bayley again, but it was still a pretty cool match. Yay. We then have Victor come out with Connor, aka The Ascension, for people wondering, along with Hideo Itami. I hope I'm saying that one correctly this time. And The Ascension beat him the fuck down. Did I say that one right, Jeff? Or Marcus?
I think it
Hideo
was close
Itami.
enough. Yeah, that sounds right.
The Ascension beat him down. And is it wrong on my notes? Because when I see it written, like I said, I can't get the name right. So next to writing down his name correctly, in brackets, I've wrote her, day, o, all joined up with hyphens, and a, tam, e. Yeah? I
I
can get
would
it
have.
right.
And this is no offense to you all. I would have thought you would have been able to get his first name right every time. The last name, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I can say Hideo, but when the second it comes
Yeah.
to the other one, so I figured I'd just break it up just in case. Hideo Itami.
I was gonna say, how do you not know how to pronounce that name when Hideo Kojima? Come on.
But yeah, the Ascension just beat him the shit down.
Yeah.
It was meant to be a one-on-one match, but yeah, it was not a one-on-one match. More on that little detail later.
Indeed.
Don't spoil it. Then we had Baron Corbett versus Troy McLean.
Isn't it Baron Corbin?
Okay, Baron Corbin versus Troy McLean.
I like Baron Corbin.
Squash match.
Of course.
I just mentioned that one because I actually was looking forward to seeing him debut in NXT with his new look and stuff. So that was pretty cool. He didn't come on a motorbike though.
How was
I kind
his
of
new
wanted
look?
him to. It was pretty cool. He was like all in he was like in a biker outfit minus the sleeves, if that makes sense. Like he was in like a full leather jacket without the sleeves, and it looked cool. But then,
Nice.
then we cut to the next match of the Vaudevillains versus Tay Dillinger and Jason Jordan.
Who the hell are they?
A tag team. But the Vaudevillains win. Which it was an okay match. I just put that down because I do like the Vaudevillains and it's always cool to see them. And they kept mentioning that they're in line for a shot against the Lucha Dragons.
Nice.
And
Lucha.
Yep. And now we reached a bit I mentioned to Marcus and Richter before we recorded, but Hideo was backstage injured. And Funaki comes in and congratulates him on his debut. Then offers to team with him to take out the Ascension.
NXT #1 announcer?
No, because he's going to wrestle.
Fair enough.
He's teaming with him. Yay.
So does this mean that Hideo's going to come out and cut a promo now, and then Funaki's going to say indeed?
See, told you that's all people were going to say.
No, it means they gave Mr. Kenta over there Funaki as a mouthpiece because Mr. Kenta can't speak English that well.
That was the point I raised to you. But yes, it was the case of, yeah, I agreed with the combo. I just feel
Yes.
a load of people now are just going to be making the Indeed jokes and just referencing Kai and Tai. And I feel that Hideo will probably get buried as a result of this. And yeah, fuck people who do that.
Yeah. They better not bury Hideo.
And then we have the main event of the evening, Tyson Kidd's last chance at gold. Tyson Kidd, one-on-one with Adrian Neville. Pretty damn awesome matchup. The end was Titus O'Neil's in the front row and stands up to climb over. Sami Zayn comes out and attacks him before he can come over, which sort of distracts both people, and the end result is Adrian Neville picks up the win. And then we see Tyson Kidd just looking down with his hands over his head like, oh shit, because that was his last chance, as they kept telling us, and they mentioned last week. So, yeah, I'm curious to see where the storylines go from here.
Hopefully they'll give him one more match. No.
Maybe, but I'm still interested to see where this goes. But over to our lovely host.
It could be that they're
Alright.
going to recall Tyson Kidd back up to the main roster. Because they said it's his last chance at gold in NXT. They didn't say in the WWE.
Well, no, they didn't. It wasn't his last chance of gold per se. It was his last chance at the NXT Championship. They did even highlight it was only the NXT main championship. He could go for any other belt. He just can't go for that. Well, technically all the women's, but unless he puts on a
you haven't played
hilarious
Day of
disguise.
Reckoning.
Or unless you
I
ask
don't
us.
remember which game it was.
My name's Tysina.
All right, so now on to the news and rumors segment to finish it out.
I was gonna say, if he does dress like a woman, is it wrong when he kisses Natalia? I may be more turned on than I should be. I hope this doesn't awaken anything in me. Yay, community reference.
Okay. So time for news. Thank you. So, things happening. This week.
Yay, things happened. Back to Rick.
I should do that one week just for shits and giggles. Anyway. Item number 1. Apparently, there's discussion going around as to what the name is going to be for the new faction of Xavier Woods, Big E, and Kofi Kingston. Their rumored name, or as Xavier has been referring to them, they are going to be called the Smart Athletic Friends. I'm not even joking.
I thought they split that up.
What do you mean?
I thought they split up that group.
Oh, no. They're still together. They're wrestling at house shows.
See, because whenever I see them on Raw and SmackDown and stuff, they were wrestling separately, and the commentators had mentioned that their team was no longer together.
Well, according to what I'm reading, is that the team is together, but they're still building the team. They're building it at house shows. It was rumored to be named the Smart Athletic Friends. However, supposedly each tag team within the faction, if any two of them paired together, was going to have their own name. For example, Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston being known as Speed Force. So we don't know exactly how that's going to go down, because there was a contrary rumor from F4W Online saying that Speed Force was the name of the group as a whole. So we don't really know what's going on there. But they are working on building them up and getting them a name and getting them together via the house shows and the live programs before they put them on TV as a team.
So let me guess. Based on that name, it's because Kofi and Xavier are fast, so they had the speed, and Big E's a force to be reckoned with. I see what they did there.
There you go. Or knowing Xavier Woods, it's just a Flash reference.
That's what I just said. DC Comics did it better.
Yeah, pretty much. Moving along. Next item on the list, if anybody's interested and is going to be heading... Item number B, exactly. Item number B, if anybody happens to be planning on being out in the California area come March, April, the WrestleMania travel packages are now available. Including the Silver, Gold, Platinum, and VIP packages, which range from $900 to $3,250, or the big one that they're hyping, the top-tier $5,500 California Dreamin' package. Package includes a WrestleMania 31 ringside seats and a collectible chair, tickets to WrestleMania Access, one premium VIP and one VIP session, and exclusive reception with the superstars prior to the Hall of Fame ceremony, tickets to the Hall of Fame ceremony on the floor or at Premium 100 level assigned seating, ringside or floor seats to Monday Night Raw the following night on March 30th, and tickets to go to the Taste of the Valley experience, joining legends for fun-filled activities at a historic California vineyard, including a wine tasting and a tour. You'll get in that.
And probably hitting a power pole and knocking out power for their residents.
Yeah.
Not as though I've heard about that, just making that up off the top of my head.
Yeah, that experience includes local cuisine, wine, transportation, and you get a WrestleMania 31 branded bottle of wine.
Since it's called the California Dreams one, does that also mean you get to hang out in a cool little restaurant while one of you plays guitar and you have Saved by the Bell-like adventures.
That would be awesome.
Not sure if anyone actually remembers the TV show California Dreams, but it was awesome.
Yeah. Also includes round-trip rail transportation to WrestleMania 31 from San Jose, Santa Clara, which is where the plane would land to the stadium. A WrestleMania 31 dine-around card, which is a $50 card to dine at various locations in the San Jose area during WrestleMania weekend, from Friday the 27th through Monday the 30th, and four-night accommodations at a San Jose area hotel.
And wait, there's more. If you order right now, we will also allow you to inject John Cena with the American strain of Ebola that's currently in the news to see if he really can overcome the odds. We weren't going to mention Ebola.
Okay, wow.
It's topical.
News?
You
You killed Jim. Oh, there he is.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
What? The Ebola, like I said, the Ebola stuff, it's current, it's topical, and it's also something that's hilarious because it's been blown way the fuck out of proportion when there's no actual no actual evidence that it can spread, but according to social media, it's all over the place, fear-mongering like usual.
Mm-hmm. Well, it spreads, but you have to touch a dude that has it to get it, which is not likely to happen.
Yes.
Anyway, back to the news. But yeah, that is the California Dreamin' package, $5,500 for that one. Purchasable now on WWE.com/WrestleMania 31. Feel free to check those out. Of course, the lesser packages going down the tier of VIP Platinum, you'll lose a thing or two on each one as you go. The seats at the arenas get slightly worse. The hotel accommodations get slightly less. So on and so forth.
The superstars that take you to the vineyard suddenly go from Hulk Hogan to Virgil.
Yeah, pretty much. I will say the exclusives for the California Dreaming package, only those people with the California Dreaming package will get the exclusive reception with the superstars and the Taste of Valley Experience wine trip. Those two are exclusive to the California Dreaming package. No other packages have those.
Nice.
So check out your packages. Good shit like that.
I'm always checking out my package.
You see what I did there? Okay.
Yeah.
Stacy likes hers.
Oh, yeah.
She does. What does Marcus think of the WrestleMania packages?
I guess it'll work. I don't know, it just seems like they're trying to make money, which, fair enough.
Are Marcus and Rich going to pool their money to get $5,500 to go down for the California Dreaming package?
Wow. No.
I'm sorry, that California Dreaming package, whatever the hell it's called, while it is ridiculously priced and really, wow, that is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. It does sound pretty cool to go hang out with a star, depending on who it is.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I mean, you got to figure you're going to be meeting a lot of superstars. You get a wine tour, which has got to be worth at least a few, $500 or $600. You're getting front row seats to fucking WrestleMania, and those tickets are what, $1,200 a pop?
Wine tasting with Scott Hall.
Ha!
Sorry, was that
It's a good thing.
Okay, then. Anyway, moving along. I'm not going to go too far into the details, because if you want to hear more about this, you can go back and check out this week's XGR. But this week, 2K announced more details on the My Career mode for 2K15. I think this was mentioned on XGR, right?
It was.
Yeah. So, basically, long story short, you will start in NXT. You will compete with NXT superstars, including people like Adrian Neville and Sami Zayn. And you'll build your superstar up, unlocking skills as you go, unlocking new moves, unlocking abilities to do stuff, and working your way through the developmental process, your decisions affecting how things play out for you, and determining your ability to move up the ranks, compete for different titles, and inevitably go for the WWE title and make yourself a Hall of Famer. So there you go. So that happens, so check that out. 2K15, of course, comes out in about 3 weeks for your PS3 and your 360, and a week after that, or 2 weeks after that, whatever it is, for your PS4 and your Xbox One.
I'm actually really surprised.
What?
I assumed Marcus wanted to discuss that. That's why I said it was cool for you guys to bring it up for WXR.
Apparently Marcus doesn't care.
Fair enough, move on.
I'm cool with it. I discussed it with Mole enough.
Fair enough.
Oh, I thought you wanted to say your opinions on the air.
I don't know, sounds cool to me. Get NXT superstars.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it. I've always thought that that's how a career mode should be in WWE, where you start off in either the Indies or in this case they have NXT, and you build your character as you go, and you unlock new moves, and you unlock the ability to challenge for titles, and really go through a WWE experience. I've wanted them to do that for years and years, and I'm glad we're finally going to have that.
Now, although you failed to mention the other part of it, the more unique part of this that Mole and I discussed.
What is that?
The fact that they're changing how matches work.
Mm-hmm.
Like at least for the career mode, the matches, it doesn't matter whether you win or lose. Winning or losing doesn't really matter unless it's like, for the title or whatnot. They're really trying to focus on the WWE experience. Like if you were actually a WWE superstar, what they'd actually be looking at when you go out there to wrestle, and that is giving the fans a good experience. So it's about the story you tell in the match and how good the match is, not whether you win or lose.
Mm-hmm. These decisions, along with the player's win-loss record, will lead to multiple branching storylines, surprises, twists, and turns that offer significant replay value to explore different career paths. So yes, your win-loss record is actually important.
Actually, no, it's not. According to their interview that was up on IGN as exclusive, they mentioned in detail your win-loss record isn't as important. It's all about in-ring psychology. For example, if you put on a 5-star match with someone and still lose, you get more benefit than if you beat Cena in, say, as the example they used, if you'd beat Cena in 2 minutes using the exact same move over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
And they mentioned that's the type of stuff they're looking for, and that's what it builds you up. And you also have to do social media and stuff to build yourself up. So you actually have to do the superstar experience instead of just move spamming and hoping you win every single match, which is much better in my opinion.
Fair enough. Yeah, it sounds like great stuff. So we'll check that out. Your October 31st on Halloween, you can go get your internationally, and on the 28th here in America, go get your 360 and PS3 versions, or if you're holding out for the 18th and 21st, respectively, for your PS4 and Xbox One versions.
I may go get the PS3 version, play it, then trade it in and get the PS4. Nice. That would be a stupid thing to do.
Yes, it would. Especially considering you had the PS4 pre-ordered already. Go get it, brother.
I meant so you could actually play it like 2 weeks early and experience it 2 weeks in advance, when I'm pretty sure the PS3 and 360 one's going to be the same as last year, just with updated roster.
Probably. Moving along. Next thing, Jericho might return soon. This may have something to do with why he didn't get much of a send-off here, because I don't think he's going to be gone that long. According to the rumors, he is still booked to appear at live events on November 10th, 11th, and 15th. 11th being the most relevant, as it is a SmackDown taping. And Jericho has been teasing via social media that he, quote, might be returning sooner than you think, end quote.
That wasn't social media.
Oh, wasn't?
Because remember I read that news to you. He did it on his podcast, and all the tours he's definitely now booked for, and they've only recently announced them and stuff. They're like the European tours and stuff, which means it's not a rumor. He's booked for them, and he is saying that on his podcast that, yeah, expect me sooner than you think.
Yeah, apparently.
So, yay, Jim will be happy.
Okay.
All he wants for Christmas is Jericho in leather pants.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the leather pants joke. Anyway.
Cue the clip.
Anyway, so the next thing, apparently the payoffs for the first few pay-per-views following WrestleMania with the new formula are in, and according to reports, are said to be described as, quote, really bad. Many are speculating this points to the fact that talents are getting paid based on the pay-per-view revenue, and only that, and are seeing nothing extra from all the pay-per-view revenue that's now being lost to the network. And it's worth being mentioned that there are a few people being, quote-unquote, taken care of, and a few who have specific deals that prevent this type of thing from affecting them. Although, for the most part, this has hurt pretty much everyone when it comes to payoffs for pay-per-view shows.
The way Jim had that when I giggled, what were you thinking of, Rick, when he said, and there are some stars that they're going to be taken care of?
They're going to sleep with the fishes.
But yay, Marcus making money. I assume they'd go to the past. Quick, someone, if you got Photoshop, insert Marcus Shadow behind Lonely Virgil just watching him.
You said stars, though.
True, he's doing it ironically now. Now he's
okay.
throwing in that one as a whimsy, like.
It's like a plastic knife.
Yeah, it's like frequent flyer miles. When he kills so many celebrities for you, you get any other kill for free.
No, he's standing behind Virgil and he's got his knife, and there's a speech bubble that's saying, if I stand next to him long enough, eventually Ted DiBiase will show up. Anyway, let's see. Next on the list here, there's been a lot of information running around about this because Cameron mentioned this in an interview that Vince McMahon does not want any divas that are on Total Divas to be the Divas champion. Apparently, Cameron and the divas on Total Divas are slightly pissed at this, and apparently the reasoning that's been given for the Vince has this in place is because there's that delay between when Total Divas films and is aired versus the live storylines going on TV. They don't want someone on the show being the Divas champion, only for them not to be the Divas champion on Raw.
So what you're saying,
the hell out of viewers. So
what you're saying is Brie and Nikki don't stand a chance despite being in the main event and despite being the most interesting storyline in WWE currently?
Yep.
They don't stand a chance just because, fuck it, they happen to be on another show.
Yeah, they don't.
That seems fair.
Well, I don't want people getting confused, like, oh, the show's airing in 6 months from now, and Brie's the champion on it, Total Divas walking around the title, but then on TV, wait, no, it's Paige. What's going on here? And then just to avoid confusing the WWE fans, because
I'd love to say Vince is an idiot.
Feel free.
Because number one, WWE Network. It's on demand. You're going to be able to see it whenever you want. So, yeah, there's going to be inconsistencies. Number two.
Total Divas isn't on the network, dipshit.
I thought it was.
No, it's not. Because that would
E-Network.
violate their contract with E! Entertainment Network.
Okay, I could have swore I saw in there. But also, and the reason I was saying he's an idiot, UK. How far back are you, Mole?
Actually, I'm a few hours ahead of you.
Oh, you're ahead now? Because you were
Total
behind
Divas.
before.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Richter and Jim, for realizing I was making a time zones joke.
Yeah, we haven't reached tomorrow yet. Don't spoil it.
Yeah.
Spoilers. Skynet.
Skynet.
Nice.
Skynet, mech suits, and... Wait, is that capri pants? I don't, no. But yeah, basically, we're like a year or two behind you.
Yeah.
So,
So
yeah,
it's like-
only about a year or so, but I say he's an idiot for one reason, Marcus.
What's that?
Assuming this is Vince, because everyone seems to just say Vince nowadays for any reason, for anything they think is bad, but basically, Total Divas, it shows them prepare for whichever pay-per-view's going on during the storylines. So, hey, the reason that Brie's not champion at the moment is because, look, that happened to be around, say, 4 months ago when she wasn't champion. You can pay attention to that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently Cameron brought this up when she was on Talk is Jericho. And it's not necessarily Vince, it might be more the WWE officials, because the chatter or rumors was that it was Vince, but according to what Cameron said, quote, the whole thing we have been fighting is being on the show means not being able to have a chance at the title, end quote. As far as the rule itself is concerned, most believe the WWE officials do not want the Divas title to be confused due to the several-month delay in Total Divas being taped and actually airing on television. I don't know. We shall see. But as of right now, that supposedly there will not be any Total Divas champions.
Which means Natalia will never, ever, 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 ever hold the Divas title.
She can have the NXT Divas title.
That's called the NXT Women's title.
Sorry. Because it looks like there's a good chance that that's going to need a new owner soon, because on social media, Charlotte has been talking a lot of shit about AJ. Saying that she wants to challenge. She's coming for AJ in the Divas title, so I sense Charlotte getting booted up to the main roster soon.
Possibly, it could just be social media. I mean, if you go over to Twitter and you look up the stay-at-home dad gamer, he's constantly slagging off Cliffy B. I don't think he's going to be making the next Gears game.
Fair enough.
And I'm kidding, I don't think To The Start Game has ever slagged off people on Twitter. Except for possibly me.
No.
But yeah, that does come to pass, and it's true. Given current storylines, I'm thinking Bayley's probably going to become the next NXT Women's Champion.
I could see that. But anyway, moving along. Next on the list, today WWE has released Nick Eugene Dinsmore. You might remember Eugene from years back. He was He was the head trainer of NXT, and he has now been released. And additionally, they also released a Matt Maltera, who is apparently the liaison between WWE corporate and the developmental territory. They're gone.
Did you introduce him by inserting Eugene into his name, then reminding us that he was Eugene?
Well, I didn't know if anybody heard me.
It was cool, you didn't say the word Vita.
So, who's the new head trainer then?
It was not stated. Probably. It was not stated, just that Eugene had been released as head trainer.
Fair enough.
Based on 2K15, Bildemont.
Yeah, and in 2K15, Bildemont is the NXT trainer.
And he yells at you.
There you go.
Nice.
Anyway, so moving along on to news now. Apparently he was, they're calling him a trainer, but at one point in time he was the head trainer, so I don't know. But anyway, moving along.
A trainer? Is that like A train, but with an at the end, so he's even more of an A train than Albert?
Exactly. And the next thing, and I mentioned this to Marcus the other night, this is a thing. For those of you, this is sort of WWE news, kind of a little. For those of you who may not have heard, there is currently a new Baywatch reboot, I guess, movie in the works here. And it is loosely attached to starring this film is one Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I don't know what to make of this.
I'm okay with that. The Rock's been in some pretty bad films, cough doom cough, but he's basically famous for being a good-looking, athletic guy. Baywatch was literally showing off good-looking, athletic people running in slow motion.
This is true.
He's literally cashing in on his looks, so it works before his looks fade.
Well, I really hope The Rock is starring as like the new buff guy that's got hired as a lifeguard and he's working for Mitch. The Hoff needs to be in this movie.
I'm really hoping that The Rock becomes one of those actors that takes on too much. He gets confused, like in Friends when Joey got confused, or in Joey when he got confused which play he was on. Because how funny would it be? And the actors and the studios are too embarrassed to tell him. How hilarious would it be if Black Adam is in a fucking Speedo? I mean, on Baywatch, there's someone in a Black Adam costume running in slow motion.
Ah.
Wow.
I want that to happen.
That'd be hilarious. So yeah, The Rock is loosely attached to star in the new Baywatch movie. It is in production. We'll see where that goes. Supposedly they've been trying to make that for years, so.
I think we know exactly where that goes. DVD bins.
Pretty much. Moving along, next, in TNA news this week, TNA signed a couple of new television deals for international areas. They announced that both TNA Impact Wrestling and TNA Explosion will air on Channel 111, Sing Telemio Sports 1 all across Singapore. And Impact will air Wednesday nights at 10 p.m. with a repeat on Saturday mornings at 11. And Explosion will premiere Friday nights at 11 p.m. with a midday repeat on Sundays. You can check your local listings for that.
I have a question, real quick.
Yep.
So they filmed TNA in like Orlando or somewhere in Florida, right?
That is correct. The Impact Zone is in Orlando. Actually is a fun fact for you, is that I don't know. I know you're older than me, Richter, so this was a little after your time in terms of television aired at the youth. But the TNA Impact Zone, where they currently film TNA Impact, is actually the former Extreme Arena where Nickelodeon Guts was filmed.
So for TNA Explosion, is that in the Bay Area? Thank you.
But wait, we have an effect for that. I don't know what to say it. What the hell is it? Where's my sound effects? God damn it! There we go. Okay. Also, TNA Explosion will also air on TV9 in Malaysia every Monday night at 11. So Dixie Carter said they're very pleased to be able to broadcast their programming to the good people of Singapore and Malaysia. So that's a thing. In hilarious news of the week, more hilarious than the Rock in a Baywatch movie. So, WWE diva Naomi had her Twitter account hacked Friday morning. Her account linked to an adult website with a caption that read, and I quote, "I never feel more racist than when trying to find my waiter at a Mexican restaurant." End quote.
Ooh. Does this have to do with Alberto? Sorry,
Wow.
I thought that was why he got fired, because of something to do with along the lines of a Mexican. So someone referred to him as a Mexican waiter, so he slapped them, according to the news Jim said. So this would have been a perfect retaliation on his part if he starts to insert that in all the wrestlers' Twitters.
This is true. That was what was said. Somebody said it was his job to clean the dishes, and when he found out who the guy was, he hit him in the face. Then he got fired. Anyway, so that was a thing. Apparently, she has control of her Twitter again now, and they've gotten rid of that problem. But that's interesting.
It's weird. She gets her Twitter hacked, and it links to porn. Fair enough. That seems like a genuine hack. How come whenever someone always hacks Kurt Angle's account, it only ever posts negative things that clearly sounded exactly like Kurt Angle, but therefore in the hindsight he may have regretted?
I wonder how that could happen.
Marcus. In fact, that's what we now need to do. Whenever anything bad happens to a celebrity, including death, we need to show a montage of their life and then show that they died. And we need Richter to say, like Dave with Alvin, we just need him to go, Marcus!
No. Fuck you.
I don't think he likes that idea.
Is it bad that for a minute there when you said Dave with Alvin, it sounded like you said Dave with Alf, and I was really confused?
I killed them.
Well, based on hearing you speak, I think you've always been confused about your sexual identity.
Alf got dissected by the government at the end of that show.
And then if you watch the film, you got dissected by Hollywood.
Pretty much.
Did you know what you did?
Yep. And moving on to the final piece of news for the evening. Kind of sad, but also kind of understandable. Apparently, that although he has been medically cleared to return to the ring for a while now, Christian has been kept on the sidelines by WWE because of their belief that he is too physically, quote-unquote, fragile these days. Their mentality regarding Christian within WWE is that his wrestling days are pretty much over, but he'll probably be kept in the company in some capacity, either as an agent, a trainer, or a similar role like that. So he'll be around. He's just probably not going to wrestle again.
I'm going to say that makes perfect sense. Because whenever you post anything about God on Twitter, you really see how fragile Christians are.
Oh.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. You know, they don't seem so fragile when you piss them off, and then they tag team with God to whip your ass.
That is also true.
Anyway. So, yes, that is the news. Back over to the Hammy one.
Who's totally wearing a Pope hat.
He totally is.
Good thing the camera's not on.
Space Pope.
Isn't it? Is that not you really close to your camera?
Not this time. That's how I took that picture.
It's a self-pixie. That's now a thing.
Tyler Breeze showed me how to do it.
Nice.
All right, so I'd like to thank everyone for joining us for another WXR.
Thank you.
And hope to have you everyone back next week for some more wrestling-related news and recaps.
Indeed.
So I'd like.
And to encourage you to come visit us next week while we recap things, we'll be recapping Monday Night Raw, in which the show will be hosted by Kathy Lee Gifford and Hoda Kotb.
Indeed.
It'll be good for some yucks. Come on.
I'm just going to say, Jim, leave the jokes to us.
Ah. The joke is on the WWE, I'm sure.
Yeah, like the hilarious part where they thought people would buy that now.
Exactly. Exactly.
And also tune into Around the Pound. This week is the start of our award season.
Yes, we will see you tomorrow night.
XGR did it.
Yep.
That's what
And
Rick
again on
said.
Monday for the news.
Mm-hmm.
Not this week.
Oh, we're not doing it this week?
We're not doing it for 2 weeks. 2 weeks on the run. We're doing the news on the Sunday. Then when the Mondays open
okay.
back up after Amazon pilot season, because Monday we totally need to record Cosmopolitans, which everyone's totally watched.
True.
So that, folks.
So check out those upcoming reviews. And since it's October, I'm sure don't forget to go check out Anastasia Laserbeam's awesome Let's Plays of... Which game was it she watched a Let's Play that was a horror game?
Doesn't have it yet.
I believe he's going to be doing this month when she picks it up the same one I plan to Let's Play and stuff as well, Alien Isolation.
That's the one. Thank you. So check out those awesome Let's Plays, and hopefully if Marcus Shadow and I can find something good to review, there will be either a Halloween movie or TV or some type of review of that nature for October, so stay tuned for that.
I wasn't doing it because it's Halloween, I'm doing it because it comes out in October.
Which is fair enough, that works out for you, but I was talking to Marcus, we need to figure out some kind of... Because last year we did a month-long thing where we reviewed all the Halloween Town movies, so we need something to do for this year. So we will figure something
Halloween
out.
Movies.
Yeah, forget the town.
Yeah. That would take all year.
Would it be the Year of the Witch?
Apparently.
It's funny, it's the worst one.
Yet it would certainly be better than Season of the Witch.
Yep. God, I hated that film.
Oh, Nicolas Cage. Anyway. So yes, take us home, Hammy.
All right. So again, thank you everyone for joining us. Hope to see you back next week. Check out all of our other cool stuff, and we will see you next week. Goodbye.